Stanley Milgram was fascinated by the events that took place in Nazi Germany in World War II. He became curious how everyday German citizens could go along with unspeakable actions that they took part in during World War II and the Holocaust. Milgram wanted to conduct an experiment testing your average individuals on how far they will go to obey a leader, whether they agree with them or not. To what end does a person obey a leader?
Okay. The experiment consisted of 40 males, aging from 20 to 50, from the New Haven area. Originally, participants were told they were taking part in a memory and learning study conducted at the university. Each subject was given $4.50 for participating. Subjects were taking the roles of teachers, while the Confederates were the learners receiving the shocks. The researchers used deception and told the subjects that they were trying to find information about punishment effects on memory. The experimenters led the subjects who will be acting as the teachers and the Confederates to another room where the Confederate would be strapped to the lecture chair. The subject is instructed to read a set of 4 words, and the Confederate is to identify the correct pair. And if there was an incorrect response, the subject would be administered a shock. The shocks generator consisted of 30 voltage levels in a row, ranging from 15 to 45 volts to 450 volts, grew together with 15 being a slight shock and 450 being a triple shock. Triple X.
The subject had to shock the learner. Each time they got a wrong answer, they had to increase the voltage by 15 volts, and at 300 volts, the Confederate becomes verbal, and the subjects start questioning if the learner would be harmed. As the voltage increases, the Confederate stops responding, and the experimenter says to continue and count the silences as wrong answers. When the subject requests to stop the experiment, the experimenter had a planned script to keep the subjects involved in the experiment. If after the 4 lines the subject wanted to leave the experiment, they were able to do so.
Hi, I'm the experimenter. So you will be our teacher today. You will be our learner. So if you could come with me while we put our learner into the electric chair. Just going to strap you in like this and like this. And you can't move, right? Mm-hmm. All right, good. So basically what's going to happen is you have a list of words which our learner has memorized in pairs. This is our voltage meter. It starts at 15 volts. Mm-hmm. This is slight shock, moderate shock, strong shock, very strong shock, intense shock, extreme intensity shock, danger, severe shock, and the triple X shock. If she says a wrong answer for the paired words, you start at 15 volts. For each wrong answer, you increase the voltage to the next one up. You hit the red button to administer the shock, and you need to say which voltage you were at before administering the shock. Okay. Are there any questions?
I think I got it.
Okay.
All right. Garden, phone, pond, Asia.
Garden.
Oops. That answer is incorrect. 15 volts. Red balloon, fire truck, wagon.
Wagon.
Incorrect. 45 volts. All right. Pen, window, light, number.
Number.
Correct. Car, farmer, ring, ice.
Ring.
Incorrect. 75 volts. Book, storm, door, cape.
Cape.
Incorrect. 105 volts.
Ow.
Sun, pillow, ink, clock.
Clock.
Incorrect. 135 volts.
Ooh.
Monkey, wild, zoom, shine.
Zoom.
Incorrect. 165 volts.
Ow.
Frown, clown, tickle, goggles.
Goggles.
Incorrect. 210 volts.
Okay, that hurt.
Is she okay?
She's okay, please continue.
I don't feel comfortable.
The experiment requires that you continue.
I don't think so.
It is absolutely essential that you continue.
I can't.
You have no other choice but to go on.
Can't
All right.
shock a human being.
210 volts. Hi, I'm the experimenter. You will be the teacher today. You will be the learner. If you could come with me while we put her into our electric shock chair.
All right.
All right. She has memorized words in pairs, corresponding pairs. So you have a list of words, read them in groups of 4. She will say the correct word, and if it is correct, you do not administer a shock. If it is wrong, you will administer a shock, starting at 15 volts. The increments are in groups of 15 volts. So for each wrong answer, you go up a voltage level. To administer the shock, you hit the red button, and you need to say the voltage before you administer the shock.
Okay.
Are there any questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Garden, phone, pond, Asia.
Asia.
That answer is incorrect, 15 volts. Red, balloon, fire truck, wagon.
Red.
That answer is also incorrect. 45 volts. Pen, window, light, number.
Number.
That answer is correct. Car, farmer, ring, ice.
Ice.
That answer is incorrect. 90 volts. Book, storm, door, cape.
Cape.
That is incorrect. 120 volts. Is she like okay?
She's fine. Please continue.
Sun, pillow, ink, clock.
Ink.
That answer is incorrect. 150 volts.
Ow.
Hat, lamp, section, hangover.
Hangover.
That answer is incorrect. 195 volts.
Oh, this is starting to burn.
Santa, ghost, file, board.
Ghost.
That answer is incorrect. 240 volts.
Ow! Oh my god!
Sneaker, boat, fly, giggle.
Giggle.
That answer is incorrect. 270 volts.
Oh, ow.
I don't think she's okay in there.
Please continue.
Guava, toothbrush, pick, alien.
Alien.
That answer is incorrect. 300 volts.
Ow! What are you doing to me in here?
I feel really uncomfortable. I don't.
Please go on.
Sword, armor, outlet, plug.
Outlet.
That answer is incorrect. 345 volts.
Oh, it's hurting, hurting.
Nebraska, corn, sunflower, dry.
Sunflower.
That answer is incorrect. 375 volts.
Oh my god.
Pocket, nail, reminder, watch. Pocket, nail, reminder, watch. Okay, she's not responding.
You are to count a silence as a wrong answer and increase the voltage and administer a shock, please.
Alright, 450 volts.
This concludes our experiment. Thank you. In the real experiment, they did go from 15 to 30 to 45 to 60 volts up to 450, but for time's sake, we could not increase in 15-volt increments. The results of Milgram's study of obedience for shocking. The senior psychology students at Yale and other psychologists thought that a minimal amount of people, the average guess being 1.2% of subjects, would obey the experimenter through the end of the experiment. In Milgram's study, 26 of the 40 subjects, over half, administered the highest level of shock to the confederate, completely obeying the experimenter. 5 people stopped at an intense shock level of 300 volts. 4 people stopped at an extreme intensity shock of 315 volts. 2 people at 330 volts. 1 person left at 345 volts. 1 person at 360 volts. 1 person at the danger shock level of 375 volts. And the other 26 people obeyed through the XXX shock level of 450 volts. Besides the high obedience, the subjects also reacted physically. Many of them showed signs of discomfort, including shaking, sweating, and clawing at themselves. Subjects also smiled and had nervous laughing fits, which in the debriefing they said was not related to their feelings of the experiment and that they were not laughing out of pleasure. 3 of the 40 subjects also experienced seizures, one of which was so severe that the experiment needed to stop. Milgram's study of obedience found that despite the fact that from childhood we are taught not to hurt innocent people, many people would obey an individual who demonstrates authority.